Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
What is up? Welcome to the GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Monday today here, as we are going to jump right into it. Lots to cover in this show. My name is Tom Dougherty. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, as we're going to go right into the games from Friday, as we have the whole weekend to cover for you guys here on the show. We'll do that in the first couple segments before getting into our trade deadline talk. Also, what's going on in the West, as it is in the American League. But have a few teams battling it out for the wild card in the National League. You have three teams, if not the Giants, can count them out, but three teams at least on top of the NL West deciding that race. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's go and cover these games from Friday, as the Giants and the Brewers continue their series. They had a 4-game series over the weekend. And Friday, the Brewers win 3-1 as they scored single runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th to beat Madison Bumgarner. Giants were only able to scratch across a single run against Chase Anderson in this one. It was a Brandon Crawford double. That was all they were able to do there. So it was a good start for Anderson. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. As Bumgarner went 8 innings, allowed 2 runs, 3 total, 2 earned runs, 3 total on 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. As he goes down to 3-4 now. It lowers the ERA a bit, down to 3.06 on the year. Home runs in this game were non-existent. As we go on to the next one, Pirates walk off on the Mets in Pittsburgh. 5-4 was the final on this one, as they got a run in the bottom of the 9th inning to break a 4-4 tie and win it on it was a David Freese single to knock in Josh Harrison and get the win there for the Buccos, as Ivan Nova was the starter for the Pirates, as they got he went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, a homer allowed. He actually got 4 total, 3 earned runs. The home run from the Mets came from Michael Conforto, his 14th of the season. David Freese also hit a home run actually earlier in this game, a 2-run shot in his second, and that was his 7th of the year. In Baltimore, the Orioles beat up on the Rays 15-5, as they scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to really blow that one open if they hadn't already. Well, that was actually a pretty close game. It was 4-2 before that, or 4-3 actually before that 8-run inning. Really blew it open. And I mean, you score 8 runs in an inning, you seem pretty good there. Home runs in this game came from Jonathan Scope. His 16th could be his last weekend as an Oriole. You might see him on the move before tomorrow is done. We'll talk about that definitely. We'll go through the whole deadline stuff at the in the third segment. We actually do it in the third and fourth segment if we want to do that instead of covering the games for the Monday and Tuesday. We'll see how it goes through the rest of the show. But back to this game. The Scope hit his 16th. Jones hit his 11th. Adam Jones is his 11th, a 3-run shot for him. Let's say he had 4 RBIs. Adam Jones, Scope had 3. Rickard had 3. As you had Valencia with 3 hits in that game. Adam Jones and Scope both had 3 hits in this game, as the Orioles scored 15 runs on 15 hits in that one in Tampa. The Rays did not get a homer in this game, as Chris Archer actually he went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a homer, but Pruitt came in the 7th and only can get 2 outs to give up 8 total runs, 6 earnies right there. All right, moving on as we go to the Indians and Tigers game in Detroit, as the Indians win on the road here 8-3 over the Tigers. They got actually 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning to break a 3-3 tie. So Cody Allen gets the win for the Indians in relief, as they got a home run, actually a couple home runs from Francisco Lindor. He hit 2, his 26th and 27th of the season. Alonso hit his 17th, and Brandon Guyer his fifth of the season for the Indians. And the Tigers got a home run from Victor Martinez, his sixth of the year. The Indian starter was Carlos Carrasco. He actually pitched pretty well, went 6 1/3 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 3 total on 7 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Just that home run to Martinez was the big blow to his line, but he gets no decision as this game was decided late. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Twins in a walk-off 4-3 as they scored a run in the bottom of the 10th inning to win this one. The Twins actually had a 3-2 lead in the top of the ninth, or actually the bottom of the ninth, and the Red Sox were able to get a run there to tie it and then win it in the bottom of the 10th inning. So good for the Red Sox there, as they did not want to waste a good start from Chris Sale. He went 6 shutout innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Probably would have wanted to get a win there, but it is what it is. Craig Kimbrell did blow the save in that top of the ninth inning. The Red Sox were up 2-1 before the Twins took the lead in the top of the ninth inning on a Eddie Rosario double that knocked in a couple of runs. But Rafael Devers was able to tie it up in the bottom of the ninth inning, and then Mookie Betts, his first walk-off home run of his career. He's about 4 grand slam. How many? He's hit 3 home runs in a game 4 times. I'm pretty sure he has a few grand slams too. But this is his first walk-off homer. Also his 25th of the year. Devers, that was his 15th of the season. And then Jackie Bradley Jr. also hit his 8th of the year for the Red Sox, as that was all the home runs in the game there in Fenway Park. In Cincinnati, the Reds beat the Phillies 6-3 as they got 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to really set the tone in that one. It gave them a 5-3 lead, and they would add on a run in the 8th and then hold the Phillies off in the top of the 9th inning to win that one 6-4. Sorry, 6-4 was the final there in Cincinnati. As home runs came from Eugenio Suarez, his 24th. Williams, the young right fielder for the Reds, hit his first home run of the season. That's Mason Williams. He's a righty from a 6'1", 195-pound righty, 26 years old, hit his first home run of the year there for the Reds. The Phillies got a home run from Odubel Herrera, his 19th of the season, as they get the win. The Reds get the win there at home. Nationals beat the Marlins 9-1 on Friday as they got a great start from Max Scherzer as he continues to be lights out and have that Cy Young bid surely in his favor. I love Max Scherzer and his ability to just year in and year out pitch well, as he went 8 innings, allowed actually no earnings, 1 unearned run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts for Scherzer as he gets his 14th win of the season. He's got now a 14-5 with a 2.30 ERA on the year. Home runs in this one came from Juan Soto. Who would have known? His 13th of the season for the Nationals. His bid for a NL Rookie of the Year campaign is definitely in full swing. The Marlins did not get a home run in this game as they got beat down pretty bad. Dodgers beat the Braves 4-1 on Friday as Clayton Kershaw gets his 4th win of the season, lowering his ERA down to 2.52 as he beat Mike Foltynewicz. Actually, there's a good little pitcher's duel going on in LA, but the Dodgers were able to get to Foltynewicz there in the 4th inning. The Braves actually took an early lead in this game, but the Dodgers were able to come back and take it right back and then hold on as Kershaw went 7 2/3 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts for Kershaw as he gets the win. As there was just a couple of home runs. Verdugo hit his first of the year for the Dodgers. Yasmani Grandal hit another one, his 17th of the season for Los Angeles in that game down in Atlanta. In Houston, the Rangers beat the Astros 11-3. Giovanni Gallardo gets the win as the Rangers beat up on Dallas Keuchel there in Houston as he gave up 3 runs over 5 innings of work. The bullpen obviously also was pretty hit hard. Davinsky couldn't even get an out. 5 runs on 4 hits. Ouch. Babe. Late in that game as the Rangers were able to score 5 runs in the 9th inning when it was already kind of decided as the Astros were not able to do much with the bats. They got a home run from Evan Gattis. That was his 20th of the year, but that was about it. As the Rangers were able to bring out their bats. They got a home run from Robinson Chirinos, his 14th. Keener Falefa hit his 3rd. And Tristan Profar hit his 11th of the season for the Rangers as Giovanni Gallardo went 5 1/3 shutout innings, 2 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts for him as he gets his 5th win of the season. In Chicago on the south side, the Blue Jays beat the White Sox 10-5 as they got a good start from Marcus Stroman. As the White Sox, they didn't score most of the runs until late in that game. Toronto scored early and often in this one as they backed up a good start from Stroman. He went 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs allowed, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for him. Home runs for the Blue Jays came from Curtis Granderson, his 10th. Gurriel Jr. Actually hit 2, his 6th and his 7th. And then Randall Grichuk hit his 14th, and Kendrys Morales his 12th of the season for the Blue Jays. The White Sox did not get a home run in this game. In St. Louis, the Cardinals beat the Cubs 5-2. Luke Weaver gets his 6th win of the year as they scored 2 in the second and 2 in the third and 3 in the fourth, and that was all they needed to get the win there. As there was just a couple home runs for the Cubs. They scored single runs on a solo shot by Anthony Rizzo, his 14th, and Javier Baez, his 20th of the year, as they lose that one in St. Louis 5-2 on Friday. The Rockies beat the A's 3-1 in Colorado as Kyle Freeland gets a good win for the Rockies. As he moves now to 9-6, he went 6 shutout innings, 5 hits allowed, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. As Nolan Arenado knocked his 26th ball out of the park for the Rockies. The A's did not get a home run as they lose this one 3-1 in Colorado. In LA, the Angels beat the Mariners 4-3 in a walk-off as they scored a run in the bottom of the 10th inning to break a 3-3 tie. It was a Cole Calhoun walk-off homer, actually, off Juan Nicasio there at the end of that game, as it was a good start from Andrew Heaney. He went 8 innings, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, a couple home runs allowed. Those were to Zunino, his 13th, and Nelson Cruz, his 23rd of the season, as they also got a good start from Wade LeBlanc. He went 6 innings, 3 runs allowed, 5 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for LeBlanc in this one, as the Mariners were not able to get that run there. They give it up and were walked off on by the Angels. And in the final game of Friday, as the Yankees and Royals were rained out at Yankee Stadium. So the final game of the day was the D-backs and the Padres. D-backs and Padres from San Diego. Zach Greinke gets his 12th win of the season, as the D-backs scored all their runs in one inning. A 6-run third inning to really set the tone, blow it open, however you want to say it. That's how they won. They scored all the runs in one inning. The Padres hit a couple homers. They got Margot a solo shot, his 4th of the year, and then Austin Hedges hit a solo shot as well in the 8th inning to get their 2 runs. That's how they got their 2 runs there. But Greinke was great, as he went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, no walk, 6 strikeouts. Just the home run there by Margot was the blemish for Greinke, as the D-backs actually did not get a home run in this game. They scored all 6 runs in that third inning, like I said, on a single, a double, another double, another double, another single. So 3 doubles and it's 2 singles, and it's going to do it. All 6 score 6 runs for you in an inning there for the D-backs. And then actually, we'll cut it right here at the end of this segment. At the end of this, we'll come back at the on the other side of the break to cover the games from Saturday and Sunday, as we'll zip through those, and then we'll go into some talk on the trade deadline. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, welcome back, GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Monday today here, as we're covering the games from the weekend, as we'll go Saturday and Sunday really quickly here. Well, not so quickly. I want to give every game its due diligence and due time on the air, as we'll go to Saturday. Giants and Brewers again. Brewers win 7-1 as they got Johnny Cueto early in this one, As a Giants fan, you kind of just like, yeah, but that game's pretty much over. They got a home run from Christian Yelich. That was his 15th of the year. Giants got a home run from Nick Hundley, his 9th of the season, as Johnny Cueto only lasted four innings after giving up 4 runs on 8 hits. There, as he as again had elbow pain and likely will be shut down for the rest of the season if he doesn't need Tommy John surgery. Could be all of next year as well if he does. Moving on. I want to give give Jalees Chastain his due, as he actually pitched excellent as he went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for the Brewers. As that's a good look for Craig Counsell's squad as they look to make a good run towards the postseason this year. As they sit in the number 1 wild card spot as of right now. But there are definitely some teams on their heels. Got to watch out for the Rockies. Got to watch out for obviously the Diamondbacks, Pirates, Cardinals, Phillies. You can see the Giants and Nationals are only 6 games back. There's so many teams, obviously, between them. It's hard to keep them. Say they're still in contention. Everybody would have to kind of tank, and they'd have to do great. You have to leapfrog over 4 different teams. But yeah, so it's kind of tough sledding right there. But for the Brewers, they're looking pretty. They're a game and a half up in that first wild card over the D-backs right now. So you got to like that if you are a Brewers fan, and you got to like how they played over the weekend in San Francisco. Moving on, as the Royals and Yankees had to play 2 games on Saturday to make up that rainout that happened on Friday, as they were able to get both those games in. The Royals, actually, another reason why I think the Yankees are doomed for this season. They just don't have the pitching. Their best pitcher is Luis Severino, and he got beat up on Saturday in that first game as he only lasted 4 1/3 innings, gave us 6 runs on 8 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. A homer to a Royals team that they don't hit very much, and they just traded their best hitter. So Mike Moustakas is on the Brewers now. I don't know. Actually, did he play? I don't think so. Yeah, no, he didn't play. At least he didn't play in the double. Yeah, I don't think he played in the doubleheader because he got traded, I think, on Friday night. So he was there for the game on Saturday with the Brewers. He was definitely. The Yankees, Severino, you can't have that. You can't have that because Tanaka's been wary up and down this season. Severino's been your only consistent starter day in and day out. Now he's had 2 games in the last 2 weeks where he's been shelled. So, just telling you, the Yankees, they got Jay Happ. It's great. You say the rich keep getting richer. Their rotation is not that good. It's not that good. Yeah, you get a once in a blue moon. Tanaka throws a shutout. That was literally out of nowhere. And Sonny Gray, he'll have a good start every 3 or 4 starts. And who else you got? Sabathia. They started Sessa or whatever I think his first name is, but they started that guy. They still have Leo Saga, whatever I pronounce his last name. I apologize. I think it's Siga there for them, but we'll see how they do. There's just too many good teams in the American League. The Red Sox are good. They're still really good. They got a better rotation. They have an equally as powerful lineup, I think, and just a better all-around team. I think they're not too reliant on the home run. Like the Yankees are really reliant on the home run. The Red Sox have gap-to-gap hitters. They have Mookie Betts who hits home runs, but he also hits gap-to-gap. JD Martinez has a great inside-out swing. We'll get to this in the next segment, but every time I see this, it's just annoying. The Yankees. No, there's no. Home run to the Royals in this first game of the doubleheader came from Lucas Duda, his 9th, and Goodwin, his 4th of the season for the Royals. As they had a good start. Well, not the best start, but Keller went 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs allowed on 9 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, a homer allowed as he got the win because he got the run support. The home run came from Giancarlo Stanton, his 24th of the season. Game 2, the Yankees actually did get the win, but they were trailing 4-3 most of this game. Or actually, well, they weren't. This game actually was kind of a back and forth affair. The Yankees were up 2-0, then they were 2-1, then 3-1, then 3-2. Then the Royals tied at 3-3, took a 4-3 lead in the 7th, and then the Yankees scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th to win the game, or to at least to take the lead and then win the game. So you got to give it to the Yankees. They have some a tendency to come back as well as play out in front. So that's a good good sign. It is also a good sign that he didn't get 5 innings of work, but he went 4 2/3 innings. This is CC Sabathia did. 4 2/3, 2 runs allowed, 6 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That homer was to Salvador Perez, his 17th of the season. The Yankees also got a home run from Greg Bird, his 9th, and the young left fielder for the Yankees, that's Shane Robinson, hit his first of the year for New York, as he got a home run in this one as well, a solo shot in the 4th inning. All right, on to St. Louis as the Cubs and Cardinals played. I said I was going to do this quickly. Cubs and Cardinals played as well. As the Cardinals got 6 runs in the bottom of the first innings, they win 6-2 again, seemingly again in this one, as they scored all 6 of their runs in the first inning off of it was like Kyle Hendry or Jose Quintana, as he lasted 3 innings and gave up 6 runs. Jesse Chavez actually pitched 3 innings too of shutout ball for the Cardinals. That's the guy they just got in the trade, Jesse Chavez, in 3 innings of work. Home runs came from Javier Baez, his 21st for the Cubs. The Cardinals got one from Ozuna, his 11th of the season, a grand slam actually in the first inning for the Cardinals off Quintana. Tigers beat the Indians 2-1 as they got 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to win that one, as Blaine Hardy outdueled Mike Clevenger. And this one, as the lone homer in the game, was actually the 2 runs that scored for the Tigers, a 2-run shot by Jacoby Jones. And this one, as Hardy went 5 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout for him, as the bullpen was able to close that one down. Clevenger, in the loss, gave up 2 runs over 5 innings of work. The Reds beat the Phillies again, as the Reds have a tendency to play well against good teams. They win again 6-2 in Cincinnati, as they got a home run from nobody in that game. The Phillies got a home run from Rhys Hoskins, his 21st of the season, as Matt Harvey gets no decision, but he pitched pretty good. 5 innings of work, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Just that home run to Hoskins was the blemish. He gets no decision because this game was decided a bit later, but a good start for Harvey there, as they maybe could be a trade piece that could happen between today and tomorrow. Pirates shut out the Mets 5-0 in Pittsburgh, as Trevor Williams gets his 9th win of the season. They beat Jacob deGrom, actually, as Williams went 6 shutout innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. DeGrom went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs on 8 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, as he was finally tagged in that 6th inning. He gave up a run and a couple more in the 7th before he was removed from this game. No homers at all from Pittsburgh. Orioles beat the Rays 11-2 in Baltimore, as they got 3 runs in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th, and 4 in the 6th. So big innings for the Orioles. Do it again for them, as they got a home run from Trey Mancini, his 13th. Rickard hit his 6th of the season for the Orioles. The Rays got a home run from Kevin Kiermaier in this one, as Gausman was great. 7 innings, 2 runs allowed. It's 9 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, a homer. He might be traded as well before the day is over tomorrow. Dodgers beat the Braves 5-1, as Alex Wood gets the win over Fried for the Braves, as the Dodgers were able to score early, middle, and late in this game, as they got a couple of home runs, I think, in this one they got one from Puig, his 12th of the season. The Braves got a home run from Jan Camargo, his 11th of the year in this one. And then moving on, Fenway Park in Boston, the Red Sox beat the Twins 10-4, as Rick Porcello gets his 13th win of the season. The lone right-hander, seemingly in that rotation, still pitching pretty well for the Red Sox, as he went 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was to Logan Morrison, his 13th of the season. The Red Sox got a home run from J.D. Martinez, his 32nd of the year for the Red Sox, as he continues to pace the league in that category, as they got, like I said, a nice start from Porcello in the win there at home. Rangers beat the Astros again in Houston, as Justin Verlander got beat he got beat actually for the 6th time this year. I thought there was less than that, but he's now 10-6 with a 2.24 ERA, as he gave up 2 runs over 5 innings of work. Also a couple of home runs allowed for for Verlander as Keener Falefa hit his 4th of the year. Rougned Odor hit 2. One of them was off of Verlander. The other one off Presley. That was his 8th and his 9th of the season as the Rangers got a good start from the young right-hander Ariel Jurado as he came in and pitched 6 innings, 1 run allowed with 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, a homer. That was just the one to George Springer, his 18th. Alex Bregman also hit his 22nd of the year in the 9th inning when the game was pretty much already decided. The Rangers really extended that game out with 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning. If that didn't happen, the Astros would have tied it up, but the Astros bullpen strikes again as they give up the 4 runs late. White Sox beat the Blue Jays 9-5 as they got 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to take the lead there and win it. That's the way to do it right there. Home runs came from Sanchez, his 6th. Delmonico hit his 3rd of the year for the White Sox. The Blue Jays got one from Russell Martin, his 8th of the season. For the Marlins, the Nationals, that game was decided in extra innings as the Marlins got a walk-off win in Miami on a JT Realmuto single there in the bottom of the 10th inning. The good start from Trevor Richards. He went 6 innings of shutout ball, 3 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts for him. The Nationals had Gio Gonzalez go, and he went 7 innings, 1 run allowed, 3 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Both guys obviously saddled with no decisions in that one. The Rockies beat the A's 4-1 as Sentinella gets the win for the Rockies there. He's now 4-3 on the year, beating Brett Anderson for the A's. Home runs came from Nolan Arenado, his 27th of the year. Pat Felica hit his 2nd of the season for the Rockies. The A's did not get one out. In San Diego, the D-backs beat the Padres 9-4 as the D-backs scored 4 in the 2nd inning, then 3 more in the 8th and 2 in the 9th to really set the tone in that one, or just win, I guess, there in San Diego as they got a home run. And did nobody get a home run in this game? Homerless game in this one, but the D-backs win 9-4. In the final game, Angels beat the Mariners 11-5 as Jaime Badia gets the win. And this one is the Angels. When they hit, they can win, but they don't hit very often, except for Mike Trout, who hit his 29th home run of the year. Arcia hit his 2nd of the season for the Angels, as there were the 2 home runs for them. Nelson Cruz actually hit 2 for the Mariners, his 24th and 25th of the year. And Heredia hit his 4th of the season for the Mariners. All right, moving right along to Sunday. As now we'll go quick. Giants beat the Brewers 8-5 in this one as they got a big rally in the 3rd inning, and also one in the 5th inning to set the tone in this one. Buster Posey had a big 3-run double to knock in some runs and get them the lead early there. For the Giants, they got a home run from Gorkys Hernandez, his 12th of the season. The Brewers got one from Brian Braun, his 11th. Hernan Perez, his 8th, and Travis Shaw, his 20th of the season in the loss there. The Yankees beat the Royals 6-3 there. Jay Happ gets his first win as a Yankee as he pitched pretty well in this one. Went 6 innings, 1 run allowed, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was to Salvador Perez, his 18th. Hunter Dozier added 1 for the Royals, his 5th. And then Herrera hit his 1st of the year for the Royals. And that one, the Yankees got a home run from Aaron Hicks, his 17th of the season in that win. Red Sox shut out the Twins as Nathan Eovaldi gets a great start for the Red Sox and his new team as 3-0 was the score for the Red Sox. Eovaldi 7 shutout innings, 4 hits, 5 walks, no walks, 5 strikeouts for the new Red Sox as both Red Sox and Yankees having their new guys start over the weekend and pitch pretty well. No home runs in this game as the Red Sox were able to score 2 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th to win this one. Orioles beat the Rays 11-5. Dylan Bundy gets his 7th win of the season. Home runs in this game came from Chris Davis, actually 2 of them from Chris Davis, his 12th and his 13th. Wins hit his 2nd of the year for the Orioles, and Jonathan Scope his 17th of the season for Baltimore. The Rays got a home run from CJ Cron. He actually hit his 21st and 22nd of the season, and then Bowers hit his 7th of the year for the Rays. Indians beat up on the Tigers in Detroit. 8-1 was the final as Corey Kluber gets his 13th win of the season. He was excellent in this one. 7 1/3 innings of 1 run and ball, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Kluber, as the home runs came from Melky Cabrera, his first as an Indian, and also from Yonder Alonso, his 18th of the season. Edwin Encarnacion also hit his 24th of the year for the Indians in this one, as they get the win in big time. 8-1 was the final there in Detroit over the Tigers. In Cincinnati, the Reds and the Phillies play again, as the Reds shut out the Phillies again. They sweep the Phillies there at home in Cincinnati, as Luis Castillo gets his 6th win of the season. He was excellent in this one, as he pitched the way they really wanted to pitch, or expecting him to pitch in the future there, as he's the next budding star there in Cincinnati. He went 7 shutout innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts for the young pitcher there for the Reds. They got a home run from Scooter Gennett, his 17th of the season there for the Reds. And then I'll wrap it up. We'll come back and finish the games from Sunday really quickly on the other side of the break. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be, visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back. GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Monday today here. We're finishing up the games from Sunday as the Marlins shut out the Nationals 5-1 in Miami to finish off that series. There, 5-0. I said shut out 5-1, didn't I? That's a great baseball talk right there. 5-0 was the final, as Jose Urena went 6 shutout innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, as he was dominant against the Nationals lineup. No home runs in this game, as the Marlins were able to score their runs with some hits in the park this time around. 5-0 the final. The Braves salvage a game against the Dodgers there at home as they win 4-1. Sean Newcomb was 1 strike away from a no-hitter. But of course, these days, every TV outlet has to put the little 8 2/3 no-hitter. That has to be a little no-hitter thing in the box of the score box. I'm like, isn't that a running jinx? Like, are we ever going to get a no-hitter again because of the fact that we have to say, oh my God, no-hitter. Oh my God, 6th inning, there's no hitter. Just let it happen. Let it happen. The kid was 1 strike away, and Chris Taylor hits the ball down between the second baseman, he had a line drive between the third baseman and the shortstop. Clean single there, but we needed to keep this juju going. We needed to keep the superstition going. Why do you think we had 7 no-hitters in 1 year? Because we had good superstition. Because nobody said anything. You don't have the graphic on the screen saying, oh my gosh, this is how far he's going to no-hit innings. We could figure that out. Obviously, the team has no hits. It's the 7th inning. We don't need to be told. We got it. I mean, it's for people who are just tuning in. Well, why do you think they're probably tuning in? Because they read there was a no-hitter going on. Ugh, get rid of that silly little... Not a fan at all. Get rid of that silly little graphic when there's a no-hitter going. And it's only after the 6th inning. If it goes 6 no-hit innings, that's when they'll pop it up. I'm like, that's right when the go time, when you're like, I got 3 more innings to a no-hitter. Let's go. Like, you think you can do it? You've done 6 no-hit. You've doubled up what you've got to do left, basically. So I mean, giving his line, he actually was removed after that hit by he was removed after that hit was hit by Taylor because the kid is 20-something years old, and he was at 134 pitches. And if you're Brian Snitker, I don't know. I know no-hitters are great. Honestly, no-hitters are great, but this kid is young. He is young, and you know how many problems we've had. I want to knock on wood all day long here, because that's the last thing we want to see is that kid get hurt and have to get surgery. But that many pitches these days, there's a reason why you're seeing so many injuries. Because guys, they're being babied, but they're being babied for a while, and they're not used to ever throwing 134 pitches. So as soon as you get over the hit, you're done, buddy. Not one more pitch, please. I let you go because you had a no-hitter, but you've seen guys get removed. Young guys get removed with still a no-hitter intact because the manager is trying to save their arm a little bit. So the Braves are a playoff team, possibly, looking like it right now as they are sitting in a second wildcard spot. So they might need some Sean Newcomb in October, and the more innings, you're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't let him throw 134 pitches, even though he had a no-hitter going. I don't know. I digress on that one. It's a really tough decision. I'm not going to say, he should have definitely took him out before that, because yes, no-hitters are very cool, but there obviously is a big picture thing, and you're a team that wants to be good for a long time, and he's going to be a big part of it, as he's pitched very well all season. He's 10-5 with a 3.23 ERA as a rookie, and he could be a rookie of the year as well. So, there's a bunch of guys out there. As he went, like I said, he went 8 2/3 innings. Actually did give up a 1 run because Chris Tiller was able to score 1 hit, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for him. Home runs in this game came from Nick Moustakas, his 11th of the year. All right, that took up way too much time in this part of the segment. Wow. Talking about, I know we talked about the Newcomb stuff, but we're going to X-nay the game cover, previewing the games for the next segment, probably at least a little bit, but we'll do it really fast at the end of the segment. So we still have some games to cover for Sunday. Mets beat the Pirates 1-0 as Zach Wheeler might be on the move, but before the end of tomorrow as well, because of his start against the Pirates here. He went 6 shutout innings, 5 hits allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Excellent job by Wheeler there against a good Pirates lineup, as Joe Musgrove also was very good. 7 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's a tough luck loser right there, because you pitched excellent. Lights out, basically. And you get the 1 run was the one that did you in. That 1 run scored on a Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler pitched 6 shutout, and he knocked in a run on a double to give the Mets the only run of the game. Pretty cool there. And then the Rangers finished a sweep of the Astros. I think the first time the Astros were swept all year, and they just got swept at home by the crummy Rangers team, as the Rangers win 4-3 in Houston, completing the sweep there, as they got a good start from Mike Minor. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, a homer allowed, as the Astros got a home run by White, his third of the season for the Astros, as that was the only home run of the game for them. Tyler White, only home run of the game in general. So, but the Rangers get the win 4-3. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 7-4. As they scored 5 runs in the 9th inning, top of the 9th inning, to take the lead there and to win. As sometimes bullpens can just implode. As Carlos Rodon actually pitched pretty well for the White Sox, went 7 2/3, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, gave up a home run to Diaz, his 10th of the year. Teoscar Hernandez also hit his 16th of the year. That was in the 9th inning, part of that rally. The home runs for the White Sox came from Navarez, his 4th, and Palka, his 15th of the year for the White Sox, as they dropped that one 7-4. The Rockies sweep the A's, finish the sweep of the A's. They win 3-2 in Colorado, as Jermaine Marquez gets the win over Frankie Montas. Home runs in this game: Tom Murphy hit his 2nd of the year, Matt Chapman his 13th, Chris Davis his 28th of the season, as the Rockies get the win there. Mariners beat the Angels 8-5. Marco Gonzalez gets the win over the Angels there, as home runs came from Justin Upton, his 21st for the Angels. No home runs for the Mariners. They scored all 8 runs. They scored 7 in the first inning off of the Angels starter for Pena, as he only got 1 out. He got 1 out, literally 1 out. And then Mike Scioscia had to really make some match of the bullpen there. D-backs beat the Pirates 5-4. Padres beat the Padres 5-4 as they sweep them there in San Diego. Clay Buchholz gets his 4th win of the season, beating Joey Lucchesi, as the home runs in this game were from Paul Goldschmidt, his 23rd, A.J. Pollock, his 14th, and Nick Ahmed, his 14th as well, as the Diamondbacks win again. Cubs beat the Cardinals 5-2 as they salvage a game in that series. Kyle Hendricks gets his 7th win of the season, as he pitched pretty well, and this one only gave up a couple runs in the first inning and then really settled down as he went 7 innings, allowed those 2 runs, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was in the first inning to Marcell Ozuna again, as Zobrist hit his 7th of the year as well for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo his 15th, and the one for Ozuna was his 12th for the Cardinals. All right, that'll wrap it up for the game coverage. We're almost at the end of the segment here, but I mean, we can still talk NL West, as the NL West might be the most interesting division of all of them, because there's still, there's 2 months left in the season. As a Giants fan, I want to say, oh yeah, the Giants are still in. Then again, also as a Giants fan, I want to see them kind of maybe go into a little mini reboot, and see if they can get some pieces that could be ready for next year with some of the players they have now, because they have a lot of old contracts on their payroll right now, which are tough to get rid of. I understand, but coming in this season, you get the Bumgarner injury, you have to deal with all that stuff. So you have the Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Rockies above you right now. Rockies are playing really well, but there's still 2 more months left. But all 3 of those teams have to sustain it over those 2 months. Giants can come sneak up out of nowhere. You never know. But if I was to pick 2 teams out west, it'd probably be the Diamondbacks and Dodgers, just going off of the 2 teams, looking at it. But I think only one team from the West actually makes it into the playoffs. I think both the wild card teams are going to come from the other 2 divisions. I think the Braves and the Brewers should be able to hold off all those NL West teams, because they play each other a lot and they beat up on each other a lot. I know it happens in the other divisions too, but the Braves should be able to handle the other teams in the East. The Phillies just got swept by the Reds. In the East they still have a lead, but not by much, as it's only a game and a half over the Braves, because the Braves didn't fare all too well against the Dodgers this weekend either. So if anybody, the Nationals had a chance to maybe make up some ground, but they couldn't do anything either. They lost 2 over the weekend to the Pirates. So yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you're a fan in the National League? Because in the American League, not the Pirates, the Nationals play the Marlins. In the National League, there's all these teams that are still involved, but they're kind of all treading water. Who's going to poke their head up? The Phillies, I thought, were one of the better teams in the National League. They just got swept by the Reds. Dodgers might be the best. Are they the best team in the National League now? The Cubs almost got swept by if they didn't win yesterday, they would have been swept by the Cardinals, because everybody beats up on each other in the National League. It's very even keel, versus the American League is super top heavy. The Red Sox, Yankees, Indians, Astros, even though they just got swept, but the Astros should be fine. Because if there was ever a time for the A's to win some games, it would have been this weekend, because they didn't do it. They took all their wins and they did them earlier, and they got swept by the Rockies, and then they got actually lucky, more lucky than anything else. Yes, you missed an opportunity, but you also get lucky that the Astros didn't take advantage of their series against the Rangers this over the weekend. Which you think would, if the A's, Astros are playing the Rangers, A's are playing the Rockies, A's got swept by the Rockies, they're probably scrooged, and they're further down in the division, because the Astros must have got something against the Rangers. Oh no, they got swept too. Okay, so we're fine. So when the A's are 6 games back, the Mariners are 6 games back, the A's are still in the wild card, 2 back on the Mariners right now. So it's all still there. I mean, it's all still there. We still got moves to make. I know trade deadline stuff is going to be it's easier to talk about the trade deadline after the trade deadline because you can evaluate the move. You can start speculating on the moves that have already been made. Mike Moustakas, we talked about a little bit last week. We saw some moves being made last week with Nathan Eovaldi going to the Red Sox, Jay Happ to the Yankees. We saw them pitch over the weekend and pitch well, which is encouraging for both those teams. And then also you see some minor moves like Martin Maldonado was moved. I think over the Astros. I'll go through all the different transactions that happened over the weekend as well, especially the big one with Mike Moustakas going from the Royals to the Brewers, staying in the Central but just in a different league. As he's going to be now the third baseman for the Brewers going on, at least, this year. He's a free agent at the end of the season. It's going to be an interesting thing to do. I mean, you could speculate all you want. Cole Hamels is a Cub. He's been moved already. Some other guys I think that could be moved, like a Zach Wheeler. I talked about earlier. Some other guys I was thinking of as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Chris Archer was a name that a lot of people thought about at the beginning of the year. That could be somebody that would find a new team at the during the trade deadline, but he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been pitching that well either. So I wouldn't think he'd be a name that would be tossed around that much, at least right now, as there's only, hours left on this deadline. So, I think it's going to be, is it 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock Eastern tomorrow? They have until, so 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, so 6 o'clock Pacific. But yes, to get any deal done that doesn't go through waivers. So, you can still make trades after tomorrow, but the player would have to pass through waivers before being traded. So that's kind of how it works. All right, that'll wrap it up for this segment. We'll come back and we'll do a little more talk on the trade deadline. And then also, I'm going to cover the games for the Mondays and Tuesdays. Do it really briefly at the end of the segment. So everybody stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
All right, welcome back. GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Monday today here as we are the day before the trade deadline. So Wednesday will definitely be the show where we will go through everything that happened at the deadline day, as there'll probably be a flurry of trades. Usually there's a handful of them that happen before the deadline. Then we'll get a flurry before the deadline tonight and tomorrow. So we're definitely going to talk about that tomorrow on Wednesday for sure. So everybody make sure you stay tuned for that. This is definitely interesting because you have some teams that could be sellers, could be buyers. Right in the middle there, Giants being one of them. A's, or I think A's are definitely buyers this year. Cardinals, Nationals. Do you think I saw a report actually earlier that the Nationals were deciding whether they were going to be sellers or buyers, and then whether the decision on that was going to decide whether they were going to trade Bryce Harper, which makes me think that they think they have no chance of signing him after the season's over. He's done. He's gone. He's out. He's gone from DC. He's going to bigger and better things, whether it's going to be in LA, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Philadelphia. Whatever it's going to be, he's not signing with the Nationals again. So they're already looking at trading him if they're deeming themselves sellers, which I would, because they're in third place in a tough division, or in a division where you have two really good teams ahead of them, and then you're not really going to have a chance in the wild card, I don't think, at all. So there's just too many teams. There's too many. So there's just too many teams ahead of you. So I think they might end up finding themselves sellers, but they might not. The Dodgers, of course, are the team that's linked to them. the most when it comes to Bryce Harper. It would be the most obvious place for him to go because they have the most pieces that's able to trade. So, I mean, then again, we're right back where we started with the whole Manny Machado stuff. I mean, coming from me as a Giants fan standpoint, just put my cap on for a second here. Trade away all your pieces. I mean, they actually kind of got lucky, the Dodgers did. They only had to trade one major name to the Orioles to get Machado. I mean, if you think you're going to resign him this year, maybe it's not at the end of the year, it's not a big deal. They're going to try, obviously. But then it's always a gamble to see if you're going to, it's 2 months of him basically, or not, or you will sign him maybe. But then Harper, same kind of thing. You're gonna get 2 months of him, and then you're really gonna have to push hard to sign him, and then you're gonna sign both of them, Harper and Machado. So, I mean, it's obviously a pipe dream for if you're a Dodger fan, but I think if you were to pick between the two of them, you probably would take Machado anyways, and you already have Machado on your team now, and you probably have a good chance to sign him at the end of the year because he's been with those guys and has learned and probably going to get more accustomed to the Dodgers way of doing things and their kind of camaraderie on that team. So, it could lead to him being signing there, and if he likes being there. But you never know. They might not have the money to offer that he wants because they want to stay under the tax threshold this season, as they're going to be repeating offenders again. I mean, you see the Giants trying very diligently and very hardly to stay under that tax threshold. I mean, there's no salary cap in baseball, but there is this thing called the competitive luxury tax and competitive balance tax. And what it does is it basically forces teams to not have it doesn't force teams, but it encourages teams to not have a high payroll because it'll tax you. So every $5 is like every $5 million is $50 million. So every million is 10 million. It multiplies, and then every year you are an offender, it gets worse. So, but the thing is, if you are not an offender, if you stay under it for 1 year, it resets and goes back to the minimum punishment if you go over again. So that's what the Giants are trying to do because they're trying to get Harper up during the offseason, obviously. But, if Harper gets traded, you never know what's going to happen but as far as it goes. But, going through the trades that have happened so far, we talked about Brad Brock going to, or we didn't talk about Brad Brock yet, but Brad Brock goes to the Braves. They're trying to really shore up their bullpen. The Braves have all this international bonus money, so that's basically what they just sent to the Orioles for them. The Cardinals were actually the Yankees and Cardinals made an interesting deal. The Cardinals were given Chasen Streve and Giovanni Gallegos for Luke Voigt and some international bonus money. So whether it's Cardinals looking to kind of an equal thing where the Yankees think their bullpen's fine, they want some help at first base. And the Cardinals need some bullpen help, so that's kind of a help kind of scenario. The Moustakas deal went through. That was obviously over the weekend. That was Brewers getting Moustakas for outfielder Brent Phillips and Jorge Lopez from the Brewers to the Royals. The Phillies actually, this one kind of flew under the radar. That I actually like this. I like this move a lot. Asdrubal Cabrera has been a good. I mean, Asdrubal Cabrera was traded from the Mets to the Phillies for a young right-hander pitcher. Franklin Colomb. But we're seeing a lot of interdivision trades, which is kind of interesting. But it is what it is. I think that Cabrera could really help the Phillies, especially getting them some depth on the infield and some clutch power as well. As he's been the guy, basically the only guy who really hits long ball for the Mets when Cespedes is not hurt, or when Cespedes is hurt at least. Looking around here, Cole Hamels obviously going to the Cubs, Johnny Venters to the Braves, Jay Happ, Joakim Soria goes to the Brewers from the White Sox, Martin Maldonado to the Astros. That's what I thought. There's another interdivision trade right there. The Rockies got Sangwon Oh from the Blue Jays, a right-handed pitcher there, as that's going to be helpful for their bullpen. And then that's about it for right now. Like I'm saying, it kind of trickles along and gets some big names mixed in, some small names mixed in. But we'll see if the big guy. I mean, the thing is, there's not, like I said, there wasn't a Verlander. There's not a big, storied, historically good pitcher other than maybe Cole Hamels to get traded to be traded this season. I mean, I thought that maybe you can get you thought that maybe a Jacob deGrom would be moved. No chance. He's not getting moved. But other than that. I thought a Zach Wheeler would be a great move for the Mets to make to get something back for him. Matt Harvey might get traded, but I mean, because they're trying to sell him at least to make him available to sell to whoever. If there's any buyers, we'll see if that's going to be a scenario for that. But it looks like that there's a couple different things going on here as well. So the trades are coming, and we'll see if they're going to be even more blockbusters over the next few days, and we'll be here to talk to you about it on Wednesday for sure. Because my Wednesday, everything is going to be done. The non-waiver trade deadline will be over and will be reached, and by Wednesday we'll have everything that's going to be happened. Obviously, there could be, like I said, there can be more trades that will happen, but they will just happen on through a waiver trade deadline. So not non-waiver trade. You have to do it through the other way around. You have to pass through waivers, like we talked about. All right, let's cover the games from Wednesday. Let's cover the games for Tuesday and Monday before Wednesday, when we'll cover those games. We'll get some series started today, as the Giants and the Padres will get a series started in San Diego. It'll be for the Giants. It'll be Derek Holland against Eric Lauer. For the Padres, as a pair of lefties will go in that game in San Diego. Phillies and Red Sox get an interleague series started in Fenway, as it'll be a good start, a good little matchup here. Aaron Nola versus David Price. In Atlanta, it'll be the Marlins and the Braves on an NL East matchup here, as it'll be Wei-Yin Chen against Julio Teheran. This is really just me knowing if I can. They only gave me the last names for the starters, so I'm trying to guess. I mean, let's see, how many guys' first names do I know? It happens a lot, actually. If I say their last name only, it's probably because I can't remember their first name off the top of my head. But most guys I know. Most guys have got it down. Indians and Twins going. It'll be Shane Bieber against Irvin Santana. Rockies and Cardinals from St. Louis. It'll be Chase Anderson against Carlos Martinez. In Arizona, the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, an interleague series started. It'll be Robbie Ray against, here, this is one of them, I can't remember his first name, Martin Perez. There we go, Martin Perez. I need the first letter. Martin Perez against Robbie Ray. In Oakland, it'll be the Blue Jays and the A's getting a series started. Marco Estrada against Edwin Jackson. In Marinerville in Seattle, it'll be the Astros and the Mariners. A very interesting little series getting started here, as it'll have a lot to do with the NL West. I mean, AL West. I mean, you never know. What it only takes is one series. It takes one series, and you can mix things up, especially when it's only 4 games back. You never know. And a great little matchup going today from Safeco Field will be Garrett Cole against James Paxton. For the Mariners, it'll be hopefully a pitcher's duel, because that's what you think it's billed to be, right? And then the Brewers fly on down from San Francisco to Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. It'll be Peralta against Kenta Maeda. That's Freddie Peralta there for the Brewers, as they get a series started in Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium. And then on Tuesday, Giants and Padres again. It'll be Derek Rodriguez against Clayton Richard. And Orioles and Yankees get a series started in New York. It'll be Jeffrey Ramirez against Masahiro Tanaka. In Pittsburgh, the Cubs and Pirates get a series started. It'll be John Lester against Jameson Taillon. In D.C., the Mets and Nationals get started, as it'll be Steven Matz against Tanner Roark. In Detroit, the Reds and the Tigers, an interleague series started. It'll be Homer Bailey against Matthew Boyd. In Tampa Bay, the Rays and the Angels get a series started. It'll be Tyler Skaggs against Stanek for the Rays. That's one of their one of the guys that does the openers. He's an opener. Ryan Stanek for the Rays. In Boston, the Phillies and the Red Sox again. It'll be Jake Arrieta against Drew Pomeranz. In Atlanta, the Braves actually have not announced a starter yet for the game tomorrow, but it'll be Dan Straley for the Marlins. In Minnesota, the Twins and Indians again. It'll be Trevor Bauer against Kyle Gibson. In the south side of Chicago, the Royals and the White Sox get a series started. It'll be Jenny Duffy against James Shields. Rockies and Cardinals again. It'll be John Gray against Jack Flaherty from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And then DBacks and Rangers from Chase Field in Arizona. It'll be Bartolo Colon against Zach Godley. the A's and the Blue Jays again from the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland. It'll be Sam Gaviglio against Trevor Cahill. In Seattle, the Mariners and the Astros. It'll be Charlie Morton against Mike Leake. And then the final game on Tuesday in Dodger Stadium, Brewers and Dodgers. It'll be Walker Buehler for the Dodgers against Wade Miley for the Brewers. All right, that'll wrap it up for the show today, as we'll come back on Wednesday, and I'll telling you there'll be some trade. I don't actually know. This year could be a weird year where we're not going to see as much movement as normal, but because some of these top teams, like especially the Astros, their bullpens. I mean, their rotations figured out. They may need some bullpen help. Might see some minor arms move around a little bit, but Phillies have a rotation figured out. I thought they would want to add maybe a left-handed starter, but they're going to roll with if they can roll with 3 righties in the roto for the playoffs, so be it. I mean, Arrieta, Nola, and is it going to be Pivetta? Is it Zach Eflin or Velasquez? But pretty much those 3. It's going to be Arrieta and Nola for sure, and those were 1, 2, or 2. Nola and Arrieta 1, 2, and then basically pick your poison. I think Zach Eflin will be with the choice of Gabe Kapler. I mean, you got to give good credit to Gabe Kapler. He got booed in his first few games there at Citizens Bank Park, and he's really turned it around. They've been leading this division, whether in first or second place. Behind the Astros. I think lately they've been leading it for a while. The Braves, I think, were in first for a little bit, but then it kind of flip-flopped a little bit around during June and May. But they haven't gone anywhere. The Phillies have not gone anywhere, and they're here to stay. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with during the playoffs this year. All right, that'll wrap it up for the show for sure. And we'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.